Hey folks, it's Vegan Mark here. Happy New Year to you all. It's the 2nd of January 2015. Hope you had a good New Year's Eve. Hope you didn't get too drunk. And I hope you stayed vegan, obviously. Yesterday, Bananiac, however you want to pronounce it, posted a video telling his vegan story. It was a fantastic video. I think his YouTube channel is one of my favourites. I'll post a link to his channel underneath. I recommend you subscribing and watching his videos. Posted a video called about his vegan life, just explaining why he became vegan and the benefits. So I thought I'd make a video response to that. Bananiac has asked people to post their stories, and lots of other people are doing it, so this is mine. For a number of years I've struggled with my weight. For maybe 2 or 3 years I've been eating more healthily and exercising, and my weight has been slowly coming down and my fitness has been increasing, but I was struggling. I was losing weight, putting some on, losing, you know, the usual sort of yo-yo weight up and down. In June I finally made the commitment to become a vegan. Previously I'd been a vegetarian, and that lasted maybe 6 months. For one reason or another, I can't really recall why now, I did go back to eating meat. I've never been that much of a meat eater, so giving up meat wasn't too much of a challenge because there's not much in my diet anyway. But I did become vegetarian and then go back to eating meat. So I decided in June to become a vegan. Watched lots of vegan channels, Bananiac, Durian Rider, Freely the Banana Girl, Happy Healthy Vegan, Will, whose channel is Potato Strong. His channel is absolutely one of my favourites. So yeah, I made the decision in June to become vegan, cut out all meat, dairy, every animal product, and it's been amazing. Obviously it was June, so I haven't been a vegan for that long, but the transformation in me since becoming vegan has been absolutely extraordinary. I knew that I would feel better, both physically and psychologically, but I never anticipated just how positive the effects were going to be. As I said earlier, I've never been that much of a meat eater, so cutting meat out of my diet really wasn't too much of a problem. But I've always consumed lots of dairy, lots of cheese. I mean, a considerable amount of cheese every day. Lots of milk, lots of, you know, spreads on my bread and stuff, lots of chocolate. So giving up dairy, it was a big deal, but it wasn't really a problem because I've empowered myself with the knowledge of how disgusting the dairy industry is and how abusive it is and how animals are just, you know, tortured and destroyed by the dairy industry. So giving up dairy wasn't difficult. I know a lot of people talk about, you know, they ask me, was it hard to give up cheese? And it's like, it's not difficult to give something up when you know that that something is causing terror and pain and suffering and death to other living things. If you care about other living things, how can you possibly eat their flesh or consume something that's come from them that has required their suffering and their pain? You know, I don't know. But anyway, as soon as I gave up dairy, which was the biggest, you know, part of my diet really, I noticed such massive changes to my body and to my mind. As I said, I'd been eating fairly healthily and exercising for a couple of years, and my weight was coming down and I was getting healthier, but wow, you know, as soon as I quit consuming dairy, my body just changed on a very noticeable weekly basis. Um, the fat percentage of my body dropped massively. My body started to become much leaner. You know, for the first time since I was a child and started putting on weight, I actually had muscles, muscles in my arms and in my chest, and for the first time since I was a kid, I actually started to develop a jawline. You know, I mean, my jawline has been buried for a number of years under a layer of fat with double chins and stuff. You know, and I remember shaving one morning, getting out of the shower, and I remember my razor blade kind of having to change direction over my jawline rather than just kind of going over this kind of layer of fat under my chin, you know, which was quite a thrill. Obviously, you know, when you lose weight, the first thing that you really notice is the weight that comes off your face. So yeah, I remember the thrill of shaving over a jawline and thinking, my God, you know, there's actually bone. There's a structure there rather than just fat, you know. So yeah, it's been such a positive change for me. But the benefits to becoming vegan are not just physical benefits for me. I guess the physical changes and physical benefits are you could say it's a selfish thing. You know, wanting to improve my health, but spiritually, I feel so much better because I've watched a lot of videos and a lot of films during 2014 of animals, you know, in the meat and dairy industry, and being tortured and hurt and killed and just being abused in the most horrific and disgusting ways. And you realise very, very quickly that it's very difficult for you to live on a daily basis as a conscious human being, knowing that every time you put milk in your cereal, or every time you have cheese on a piece of toast, or every time you eat a delicious slice of pepperoni on your pizza, it's very difficult to be a conscious, caring, loving person consuming that and knowing that, you know, a cow has been reared in disgusting conditions, it's lived its life in pain, it's been force fed, it's been stuffed with antibiotics, and then it's been dragged into a building and, you know, had its throat torn open, and you know, some of the things that I've seen are just absolutely horrific, and you wonder if those kind of images were on the news every day, how many people would be able to eat meat. And you just think to yourself, any human being who sees those images of animal being abused and decides to continue eating meat can't, you know, This is quite a difficult thing for me to say because it's controversial, but it's something I've grown to believe, that any human being who understands what an animal goes through so that you can have some meat on your plate or some milk in your cereal, I think if you choose to eat meat and consume dairy when you know what's happening, I personally don't think that you can be much of a human being. I don't think you can genuinely call yourself a caring, loving human being if you eat meat when you know just what's happening. Because I can guarantee if those things were being done to cats and dogs and cute fluffy little bunny rabbits that you have in your garden, and if you felt that your pets somehow could be taken away and slaughtered and stuff, I guarantee lots more people would stop eating meat. Psychologically, I guess there's something about a cow in a field or a pig in the mud that people sort of think, well, you know, they're animals, you know, they're there for our use. But you know, that's how I feel about. That's how I've come to feel about it now. I would not be able to call myself a decent human being if, after everything I've learnt about animal abuse, I continued consuming animal products. So yeah, becoming a vegan has changed my life completely. Physically and spiritually, I'm a much better human being than I was before I became a vegan. And also, of course, there's the environmental issues. You know, more than half of all the greenhouse gases produced on Earth are produced by animal agriculture. More than half. You know, why is it that whenever you see news items on TV, excuse me, about greenhouse gases and the environment, why is it always about cars and factories polluting the earth? You never see reports about animal agriculture and the damage that they do. It's not just greenhouse gases, it's the water table. You know, all the animal waste and all the antibiotics that animals excrete, it all ends up being washed away. It goes into the fields of the farms. Well, what happens to all of the waste products from animals that ends up in the farms, in the fields of the farms? It ends up getting washed down into the rivers, the streams, into the water table. The antibiotics that the animals consume that aren't fit for human consumption gets washed down into the water table. Well, where does that water end up? It ends up in our taps. It ends up in our cups of tea. You know? So it's not just physical, and it's not just about physical benefits, it's not just about animal welfare, it's about the environment. I think becoming a vegan is probably the closest thing that you can do, the best thing you can do for being a completely responsible human being. Just enjoy my morning water, excuse me. So yeah, that's my vegan story. It's not a very long story yet. Became a vegan in June 2014, it's January 2015, so it's not very long. But I'm absolutely loving being a vegan, and there's no way that I could turn back now and become a consumer of animal products. No way. I've met so many really cool people in the vegan community. I actually recently discovered there's a Facebook group for vegans who live here in Reading, in my hometown, which I've joined, and I'm getting to know people there, so that's brilliant. But yeah, you know, if you've ever considered becoming a vegan, you know, really seriously consider it. It's actually not as hard as I thought it would be. I thought it would be difficult because you have to source out foods and check foods, and to be honest, I find myself not going in the supermarket and checking all the labels, because after a few weeks or a month of shopping, you just know what foods are vegan and what foods aren't. I do a lot of my own cooking. That's another benefit to becoming a vegan. I cook so much of my own food now. Very little of what I consume actually comes, you know, pre-made from the shops. I buy lots of vegetables and fruit and flour to make my own vegan pizza base and stuff like that, you know. My food bill is massively reduced. I'm spending such a small amount of money every week on food, it's unbelievable, whilst at the same time I'm eating more food and more healthily than I ever have. So I'm spending less, eating more. So just to finish this video up, because I realise it's sort of getting on for 15 minutes and I don't want to bore everybody to death with a long video. Becoming a vegan, the positives are, it's great for your health, it's great for your mental well-being and spirituality, because you know that there's not an animal on this earth being harmed for your own gratification. It's fantastic for the environment. You're not polluting the environment, or you are still polluting the environment because you're still consuming food that has to travel, but you're doing as little polluting as you can. And also, in my case, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but another big positive is I'm learning to cook my own food. My food bill weekly is massively reduced, despite the fact that I'm eating more food and more healthy food than I ever have in my life. So to me, there are no downsides to veganism. The only downside to veganism is other people's ignorance and other people's ridicule. I've had some people crack jokes. Sorry, that was Misty the cat. I've had some people crack some jokes and make fun of me, but I don't care about that, because I'd rather have somebody take the piss out of me and ridicule me for being a vegan than, be them and sit there tucking into a steak with blood oozing out of it, knowing that that steak comes from something that was living and breathing and eating, and I'd rather be ridiculed every day for the rest of my life for being a vegan than be a meat eater. Because at the end of the day, what you eat is what you wear, and what I eat I'm now wearing very well. So yeah, if you're thinking about being a vegan, becoming a vegan, just do it. It's wonderful, it's fantastic, and I guarantee you won't regret it. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your views, thank you for your subscription. Please leave some comments, and go vegan, because you won't look back and you won't regret it. Thank you very much. See ya. I'm a vegan. Watched lots of vegan channels, Bananiac, Durian Rider, Freely the Banana Girl, Happy Healthy Vegan, Will, whose channel is Potato Strong. His channel is absolutely one of my favourites. So yeah, I made the decision in June to become vegan, cut out all meat, dairy, every animal product, meant to become a vegan. Previously I'd been a vegetarian, and that didn't last. That lasted maybe 6 months, for one reason or another. I can't really recall why now. I did go back to eating meat. I've never been that much of a meat eater, so giving up meat wasn't too much of a challenge, because there's not much in my diet anyway. But I did become vegetarian and then go back to eating meat. So I decided in June to become, is one of my favourites. I'll post a link to his channel underneath. I recommend you subscribing and watching his videos. Posted a video about his vegan life, just explaining why he became vegan and the benefits. So I thought I'd make a video response to that. Bananiac has asked people to post their stories, and lots of other people are doing it, so this is mine. For a number of years. Hey folks, it's Vegan Mark here. Happy New Year to you all. It's the 2nd of January 2015. Hope you had a good New Year's Eve. Hope you didn't get too drunk, and I hope you stayed vegan, obviously. Yesterday, Bananiac, however you want to pronounce it, posted a video telling his vegan story. It was a fantastic video. I think his YouTube channel. Years I've struggled with my weight. For maybe 2 or 3 years I've been eating more healthily and exercising, and my weight has been slowly coming down and my fitness has been increasing, but I was struggling. I was losing weight, putting some on, losing, the usual sort of yo-yo weight up and down. In June I finally made the commitment